welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Game Guides, and you can see we're nice and comfy in our Vault 76 environment. But today's video we're going to cover kind of the important things that you'll need to consider early in the game to survive and progress. And so I'm going to give you some key points to make sure that you get the most out of this game. So let's get into the key points. So I'm going to assume you've just bought the game, you're new to the game, you're in the vault, you're about to go outside, and you have no idea, as many of us did when we first fired up the game, what to do, where to go, what we should be looking at, what we shouldn't. A lot of the tips I'm about to give you though as well will work throughout the game, and if you get into the habit of looking after a few of these things, you should have a very pleasant experience. I'm not here to tell you how to play the game. I'm just giving you some kind of tips or key things, especially in the first maybe 5 to 10 levels that you maybe should consider. So you'll find yourself leaving Vault 76 with very little resources, and the first thing we really need to do is protect ourselves. So we need to find some weapons. Outside in the wilderness, and outside in what will become quite a hostile environment, so weapons are going to be a very key component of that, and you're going to be able to get access to a heap of weapons. So when you first come out the vault, turn to your right, run up all the way up to the stairs here, and there'll be a responder's body there with a pipe pistol. Grab that. Now you only get about 12 bullets, so make sure that you arm that in your Pip-Boy and favourite it, and so you get 12 bullets. Second thing you need to do, or I'd advise you to do, is turn back to Vault 76, go down the stairs. You can talk to this guy because you've got a quest add-on on this occasion. Once you've talked to him, down the stairs again, and you'll see another body with the responders down the bottom here. Pick up the machete that they have here and arm it. Melee weapons in this game early on are very good and very key, so always have one handy in case you run out of bullets, because bullets are a bit scarce at the start of the game. And I would advise that you arm the Gladiator perk, which will give you a little bit of a boost in your damage early on in the game. And you can see you can get up to 20% if you stack this as you go through the game. But early, straight up, you should get this as one of your first perks, and it helps you immensely. Now, as you go into the Overseer's camp, you'll come across, I think it's Wilton Farm. Find the Scorched guy that has a short hunting rifle and equip it, and you'll see in a second once I stop faffing around. Short hunting rifle gives you 40 damage, and early on in the game, I'm only about level 2 here, that is an absolute bonus, so grab one of those. So in this game, junk is king, junk is your friend. Get used to grabbing junk early, and I suggest that you use this this kind of order of doing things. So grabbing junk, scrapping junk, and then stashing it, and I'll show you why in a sec. So you're out in the wilds. There's just junk everywhere. You know, there's all kinds of stuff that you can grab. Grab it all. Grab it all. But there is an issue. As you grab stuff, your weight goes up. So how do you get past that? Now, if you haven't seen my game guide to the stash box, please watch that. It will help you immensely. But for now, I'll show you. So we've grabbed a whole lot of junk now. We've got to find a camp. So we'll go to the Overseer's camp, for example. You can see we're going to grab a little bit more junk. And by the way, aluminium, wood, and adhesive are the key components that you need to be grabbing. Before you store any of that, go across to a workbench and scrap all your junk, which we're going to do in a sec. We've got a weapons workbench. We'll go to the armor workbench. Really doesn't matter. Just one that will give you the scrap option. Use the scrap old junk, and you watch my weight go from 107 to 86. And this is one key way of managing your weight and your carrying capacity. Duplicate weapons, scrap them. You don't need them. It will help you upgrade them as you go through the game. But if you don't need it, scrap it. That's the advice I'd give you. If you really don't need it, I wouldn't be carrying too many weapons in this game. Pick your favorites and then scrap the rest. Once you've done that, once you've scrapped everything, chuck it into your stash box, and that will help your weight management go on, and then it gives you some key materials to build your camp with and make a little secure base. So let's get on to perk cards. What I'd say is use some of the survival perk cards, especially early in the game, and we'll just have a quick look. Things like reducing the weight of what you're carrying, reducing the radiation effects on a player, that kind of stuff, reducing how much damage you take from the environment, all that kind of stuff is what I'd focus on early in the game. You can see the dromedary, all drinks quench thirst by additional 25%. That's going to be key, and you do have to manage your AP. And if you haven't seen the game guide to my suggestions to how you manage action points, please check that out. Again, it's another guide that's been popular, and it will help you a lot early in the game. And finally, build a camp and build a camp early. This is a free fast travel point. It allows you to have somewhere to come back to at the end of the game. When you've finished playing, you can put all your turrets and kind of security in as you go. You can use up your resources. Your stash box does have a limit, so it's kind of good just to be able to come to somewhere, free fast travel, dump everything you're carrying, and off you go and get back into the game, rather than worrying about being incumbent all the time. And you can start to make a nice little base for yourself very, very quickly, and it will give you some XP as well. As you get further and further into the game, of course, you can have all your workbenches here. You can do a little bit of sleeping, which will regenerate your health and give you a well-rested boost. There's a whole lot of reasons why I would say build a camp early, and start building all your bits and bobs as you pick up your blueprints, as you start to get all the things that you need in the wasteland, and it is just a little place to retreat to. And finally, find power armor early, and I do have a game guide for this in case you're not sure where to do that. And power armor is absolutely key in this game for survival. Now, what you'll find is when you do find power armor, you'll find components on it. Take those off, because you won't be able to use them to a certain level, but you can use the frame, and the frame will give you a huge boost to your strength. You can see I've put those away, the T60. Hop into the power armor frame, and like I say, it will help you with your damage resistance against enemies in the game. There you go, guys. That was just a list of quick tips for you to survive the early levels of Fallout 76. Get into the immersion quickly and start enjoying the game. The key thing is just surviving, and then it will give you much more fun when you're exploring if you follow a few of those tips. Hope you've enjoyed this one. I hope you're enjoying the game guides series. If you have, a like is always appreciated. I love reading your comments, so please keep those coming, and we'll catch you next time on Gaming for XP. See ya.